Hey everyone, and welcome to resOS webinar. Thank you for joining in. Over the next hour, I'll go over the system together with you guys, showing off what is resOS, what are some of the features we offer. So yeah, let's just jump into it and see where we get. Again, thank you a lot for tuning in for this little webinar we're trying out. Let me just switch over here to the next slide. So for the next hour, we'll go over multiple things. I'll just start quickly with the introduction of myself. Then we will talk about what is resOS. We will have a system review where I will go over some of the main features and functionality of the system. And then I'll give some tips to the system, how to quick use some of the shortcuts there is. Then we'll look at some of the upcoming features, and then in the end, we will have a Q&A session. The first 5 points here would be around 40 minutes, and then it should leave us with around 20 minutes, 15 minutes in the end for Q&A. You are allowed to ask questions during the whole meeting, but I'll first start looking at them in the end. And how you can do that is in the bottom corner, you can find those three shapes. You can click on that and a little sidebar will pop up, and in that there should be an option to go into Q&A. In there you can ask questions, and then my colleague Maya, who's also joined the meeting here, she will handle those and we will look at them later. So yeah, thank you. So let's just go on to the first one. So a short introduction of myself. My name is Emil Knudsen. I am the CEO of resOS and co-owner of the company. I've been here since the beginning, and since we actually 5 years ago founded resOS. Beforehand, we had another company called Edie, which was a marketplace, you could say, for restaurants. But we ended up translating that into resOS, or what is resOS today, and we have been working for this for the last 5 years. I had almost every role inside of the company during this startup. I started as an intern back in the days when it still was called Edie. I've been working in our support, and I've been developing for the last 4 years, and then in between, project managing, getting a lot of restaurant feedback. I also talk with, I can see some of you guys, I talk with you during the years, so it's great to see some of you guys still around, and nice to see you here today. So thank you a lot for the continuous support in the system. Yeah. And then what is resOS? resOS is an online reservation management system for restaurants. So our main focus is to basically make it easy as possible for you and your employees to manage reservations on a daily basis, making it easy to handle reservations, opening hours, tables, bookings, and so on. How we do that is we try to create a modern system that's easy to use. We try to keep it extremely simple, the UI, and we aim to have a high level of flexibility within the system that I will also show you later on. So what we've seen beforehand is that a lot of systems can get quite messy and too complicated for some basic usage. So what we do in our system is actually we hide a lot of the features that are there and the functionality, unless it's something you activate actively. So for example, if you don't activate online payment, we won't show you anything regarding online payment on your opening hours or on your bookings. But whenever you activated the online payment app, then you will actually show these settings on the different places where they can be used. So if you just opened an account with us within the last few days, or haven't looked around and couldn't find something, that might be the case why you haven't found it, because you haven't activated it yet. Because what we do is we have, as some of you might know, this internal app store where where it's possible to activate the different apps, and whenever that's activated, you will then be able to see the settings for the apps that we have. Another thing, as I mentioned quickly before, is we try to keep it extremely flexible whenever we develop new features in the system. What we have learned over the years is that a lot of restaurants have their own special needs, or not needs, but special methods to run their daily operations. So one restaurant would have the opening hour setting one way and another one a second way. So we try to keep it really flexible to support whatever way you want to do and handle things in your daily way. Besides that, we try to be really open about the system. We try to not be the one making the decisions on how things should work. I think, and I hope some of you can see that, who's been here for a longer period, that we actually integrate a lot of the cool ideas and features and feedback that you came up with during the time working with the system, because in the end, it's you guys who work on it on a daily, and you have more knowledge than we have in what is, a good interface. So we try to really spend a lot of time talking and getting feedback and listen to the feedback we get. Yeah. So I will now try to go into the system and start showing off the main or the basic functionality of how resOS work. For some, this might be known already, but we'll try to start from a basic point and show the main functionality, and then take it from there. Then we'll see how long time we have left in the end, and see how it is spent. And again, please ask any questions in the Q&A section, and I'll try to answer them in the end as well. So let me just change my screen here. So you can see here. So we have it here. So here I have my restaurant. I just created it 5 minutes ago before the meeting, so it's completely new. The main thing you see here is our dashboard, which shows like a few important things, so to say. You can see the bookings for today and your bookings for the next 7 days. Just to give a quick overview. Besides that, we have some shortcuts over here to the right, and the most important one there I would mention is the show booking page. This is the page that your guest, or the online booking flow we create for you when you create a restaurant. So besides having the internal system for you, you will also get an external booking flow that you can send out to your guest or even integrate on your own website, but we'll get back to that. Then we have the guide sections here down below, where we write guides about the system. So if there's anything you have questions about, or wanted to dive more into, you can try to look here if we have a guide on it. And if not, if you can't find anything here, you can always write to our support at resOS, and they will do their best to help you as good as possible getting set up and making sure the settings are good. So if we jump into the menu up here in the top, I will just first take a look at the bookings, because this is the bookings overview, and this is probably where you and your employee would spend 90% of your time. In the booking overview here, we have different views to support different needs. We have 3 different views. We have the calendar, where you can see an overview of each day in a current month, and you can go forth and back between the month up here. What you can see as well is you can shift it over to a schedule view. You can't see anything here yet because we haven't set it up. I'll set it up in a second, and we'll go back and look at it. And then we have the list view here, which is will basically just show a list of all bookings that you have for the current day, with the different statuses, the amount of people on the booking, and so on. If we go back to the menu, I'll jump over we have this customer database. Right now, I don't have any bookings, therefore I won't have any customers in the database. So we'll get back to this whenever we have the first booking in the system, which we'll have in a while, and I'll show you what information we have here. Again, I just want to mention, if you are new and coming from another system beforehand, you have a lot of bookings that you want to transfer, you can always reach out to our support and let them know about it, and then we can help you guys integrate your old bookings into our system, and we can import them for you. Then let's skip the report section for now and go to the apps here. So this is what I talked about earlier, where we have our internal app store, basically. Here, you can activate all the different apps we have, such as reminders, table management, feedback, online payment, custom fields, design, and so on. Again, all these things will then later on show in the different parts of the system where it's usable, so to say. And we'll get back to that in a minute when we try to set up our opening hours and tables for the first time, and then see, okay, how can we even evolve that with apps? And in the bottom here, we have our integrations where you can integrate with other systems such as Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, MailChimp Zapier, and we also have an open API. So if you have the resources to develop your own booking flow, you can actually do that through our API. So let me just go back up here and let's go into the settings. So we have a lot of settings here for a startup, but the most important ones to get started, that's what I want to cover first, is of course the name and contact here, because we need your information, your name, your business name, your address, and so on, so we can show that to the customers on the booking flow and so on. Then we have the opening hours for the system to work and function properly. We of course need to know the opening hours of your restaurant. And another big setting I want to mention here right now is the tables, because if we want to use the system as efficient as possible, we would need to know both your table settings, how they're set up, and so on. So I think we should. I'll just show you quickly how we can set up some basic settings and then take a look at them together. So let's start with the opening hours. So in here you have the possibility to show two things, or to add two things: normal opening hours and special opening hours. The normal opening hours is basically just I have open every Monday, let's say from 12 to 5, and for now I don't want to give a title or anything. I just create a normal opening hour here. So now I have my first opening hour from Monday from 12 to 5. Then let's go back here, because we don't want to add any special opening hours yet. We create our tables. We take here first we want to create is the area for our tables, and this one will be inside. So I'll create this, and here you'll be able to, now we have the area inside, you'll be able to add a table, and I'll call this table 100. And then we can duplicate it to create some tables quickly, and you can see now that I have 3 tables inside this area, and they seat 1 to 2 persons per table, and they have a priority of 5. So priority means that you might have some tables in your restaurants that you want to get booked faster than others. So if that's the case, you can set up the priority to a higher number than the other tables, and then the system will try to book that table faster. Of course, if you allow the system to do these things, it will still need to, of course, fit the table size. So a booking of 3 would never be able to get on a 1 to 2 persons table. Okay, so let's try to create another area here. We're going to call it the bar. So we have a bar here, and here we have tables from 200 and 201. So now we just have 2 areas with 5 tables in total. The next thing we want to do here is we want to add some combinations, because even though we have 3 tables and they only have 1 to 2 persons each of them, we want to make a combination of all of them. And in case that this combination should be filled out, we minimum want in this case, let's say, we want the people, or the amount of people on the booking, to be minimum 5. So we do this. So now we have a combination of all the 3 tables inside area that seats 5 to 6 persons. Yeah. And again, this is something we can quickly discuss. We have something called bookable here. You can make a table unavailable for online booking, so it's only available for you guys to handle it manually. Yeah. Now let's go back here to the third and the last thing we need to set up before we actually have a booking flow that's working. And this is our booking settings, how we want to handle bookings, or how we want the system to handle the bookings that are coming in. The two top settings here are the most important ones. So let's start with that. How do we want to manage tables? If we have these three different options that you can add tables to bookings automatically, this means what I talked about before on the tables. Whenever a booking comes in, the system will automatically add a table to that booking that fits it. You can also select to manually assign tables to bookings, so they will come in without a table. And then you'll manually have to handle it, or you can select to not use table management at all, and bookings will just come in. I would always suggest that you use the first option here to allow the system, because that would minimize the amount of work you guys have to do in your restaurant and your business, and just leave it to the system. So if we select this for this sake here, and let's jump over here to accepting new online bookings. Here we have accept booking if a table is available, which means, again, the system will automatically, whenever a customer tries to go through the booking flow, accept the booking, or first of all, show the times that are available based on your settings. And second, it will automatically accept the booking for the guest. So it gets directly into the system, and the customer will directly get a confirmation notification as well. Again, you can set it to manually accept or decline, and that's totally up to how you like to work and what your flow is in your restaurant. But my suggestion would again be to make it automatic, and then just let the system handle it. Then let's try to look at some of the other settings here. We have a lot of settings on the booking side here, so our booking page here. I won't go over all of them right now, but just some of the important ones, I think. Here you can select what are the required information for the customer. So when they make a reservation, would it either be phone or email? Should it be both information, only email or only phone, or none of them? So you can decide what information do you want on the guest when they make reservations. Also, it's possible to actually disable the booking page and widget. So if there's a case where you for some time don't want to take reservations, you can do it in here, disable it, and then it won't be possible for guests to do any bookings or create any bookings online. You could also do this with the opening hours. I'll show you later on. If you want to close for a holiday period, you can make a special opening hour that will close. But yeah, there are multiple options based on how you want to handle it. Then here you can select, how many booking is the maximum you want to get on online booking, and what is the minimum. You can also add a message here. So, for example, saying if more than 15 people, please call us, and then a phone number, for example. Then I want to talk about these duration and time. So how the system works is that we have a set of default settings. So what is the default duration? What is the default interval? A default setting means that this will work on all the bookings that come into the system, but it's possible to override these default settings on a specific opening hour, and I'll try to show you that again. So here, let's first just go through the settings here. Time interval. The time interval, which means which are the intervals the guest will see when they try to make a booking. So if it's 15 minutes, it will be every 15 minutes there will be an interval to book. So 10, 10, 15, 10, 30, and 11. If we changed it to half an hour here, it would be at 10, 10, 30, and 11, and so on. Default booking, that's the period of the booking time. So you can set it here to based on what you want in your restaurant. You can set it to 2 hours, which I think is the most common. But again, this is possible to override with settings on the specific opening hours if you want to. You can also set here time in advance. So do you only take booking 3 months in advance? That's possible to set it up here, and also the minimum. So basically here you can set how many months or weeks in advance do you want to take up bookings, and here is the minimum. So do you want to bookings to come in minimum 2 hours before? Then you can do that. I will just set no restriction for now. Then you can actually enable here to show the duration to guests. So when they make a reservation, they will actually see on the reservation and the status page they get that they have their booking for on their table for 2 hours. So then we have here, you'll be able to set another setting where you can actually say the duration will be based on how many people are on the booking. So you could actually set it up here saying, oh, when there's 1 to 2 people, I want 2 hours, but if it's 3 to 5, I want it to be 3 hours, for example. So that is a possible setting to set. But yeah, then we have areas. Another thing, you saw I created multiple areas. Again, it's possible here to allow guests to choose an area they want to sit in. So you can actually do that here, and then you can also define opening hours per area, which mean, let's say in my example, I created an inside area and a bar. Maybe the inside area closes at 8, but my bar is open until 12 o'clock. So that could be a scenario where you wanted to have that setting and have defined opening hours per area. It could also be you have an outside opening hour that is only open in the morning or something like that. But for now, we'll just leave it off for the example. We'll skip this manage bookings for now because I want to go down here to the booking page in widget, which is how or what is shown on the booking page that we show to the guests. So here you can enable that you don't want to hide, or you want to hide your contact information for guests. If that's for any reason something you want to do. You can disable online cancellation. So what this means is the guest can cancel online. They will have to then call you, for example, instead, or take contact to you. So if you sometimes feel overwhelmed with cancellations coming in and you don't see it because it's busy in the system, you can actually disable this. So people will have to call your restaurant to do it. Again, as the same goes for the messages. As some of you might know, it's possible both for you and the customer to send messages forth and back on bookings. And here you can disable that, so it's not possible for the guest to actually send messages through it, but instead call you so you don't miss anything. But again, I would recommend to have it on. I think it's quite smart to have the online communication there. But again, I know a lot of places are also quite busy, so it's not always that easy to keep up with all the messages that might come in during the day. Yes, so we have some custom settings here. You can set a booking notice if it's fully booked and so on. But the last thing here I would say is that in the bottom of this page, you can add a booking image that I would recommend you to do. So you may look like, or you may get a nice picture of your restaurant to show off to the guest during the booking flow instead of our default one that we have set up. Yes, so let's try to, now we have all these settings set as we wanted. Let's just save it here. And we will go back to the dashboard here now. Then I will open my booking page here and show you how it looks for the guest, because now we set up areas, we set up opening hours, and we set up our bookings settings. So now we have the 3 main settings that we need to have an online booking setup. So this is how it looks as default. This is the image on the right. I just explained that I would recommend you to change right away. So have a nice picture there of your own setup. Here you'll be able to go through the booking flow, and you can see that actually the whole month now it's grayed out because I only created a booking or an opening hour for Monday. So let's just say that we want to book here on the 8th of April, and you can see again my opening hours was from 12 to 5, and the reason why 3 is the last time is because I had a duration of 2 hours. So we deduct the 2 hours from the closing time, basically, when we allow guests to book. So 3 is the latest we are able to book now as a guest. Then we have the last page here for the booking or for the guest, where they will have to make or to complete the booking is to add the information, right? And I'll just make a test here and see. And now we have a booking. So this is the status page the guest will see. You can see that I have the message here. This is the setting or the section I just talked about where you will actually be able to disable this. The same with this button here, cancel bookings. We can disable that if needed. But this is the basic of it. So now I also got an email as a customer saying, thank you for the reservation. We look forward to see you. If we go back into the system now, we can see one thing here that changed, and that might not be that very obvious if you're new to the system, but up here in the right corner, we now has this notification in the bell. And this shows that we actually got a new booking that we haven't looked at yet. So we could click here and go directly into the booking, but I just want to do it through the menu here to show you. So we go here, and you can also see now that the calendar actually updated now because we made an opening hour for Monday, so it expects the rest of the days to be closed. So we go to April here on the 8th. Now we can actually see there's a booking. We click into the day, and we have the booking here with all the information. You'll be able to open the booking here and see the customer information, if there's anything there. So that's basically how booking looks and works. And you'll be able over here to the right end to write back to the customer. And you can see right away, the customer will see that you wrote here to them from the booking. You're able to update the booking, and you can actually see it gives a warning because we don't have any tables that fits 3 people right now. Let's try. Oh yeah, now we updated to 5 people, and then automatically the system actually suggested that we update the tables to fit because we have a combination. So let's just update the booking now. So now we have it here. You'll be able to see how it looks over here to the right with what tables are in it. And then let's take a look at the schedule view that we didn't look at before. So now you can actually see here we have this booking that fits these 3 tables at 3 o'clock. If you want to add a booking from inside the system, it's basically in this view. There's multiple ways of doing it, but let's just try. You can just click here at 1:30, and I'll say test booking and save. So now I created a booking here. You can add phone number, email, duration, and all this kind of stuff right away if you want to, but you can also just make it as a walk-in. The other way, instead of having it click on the schedule view over here, is you can up here in the right corner, we have a booking and a walk-in. So the booking will create it on the day you are on, and the time you open. So it's 12, so it suggests 12 as the first available time. A walk-in, you can actually see that it actually says today and the current time. So it's just 2 ways to quickly make bookings on different settings, basically, so you don't have to click booking and then select the current time and so on. Then I will just go back here and I will show you something because what we did now was create a booking with total standard settings. So I'll just go into the apps again, and for this one I will activate our custom field app, basically just to show you how this would work. We go into the settings here, we activated it, and let's say here, so we have create a custom field on the booking form that asks for if there's children. So on the so we just say it will be required for the customer to answer this during the booking flow. And if we wanted, we could also make a field that was only for internal use. So custom field, that could be for many reasons you want to use it. It could be to see if there's any children joining the party. It could be for a reservation number if you're part of a hotel or anything. It could be for birthdays. Do they have flag? Do they want a high chair? There's a lot of options to use it on different possibilities. Again, we try to keep it flexible. Then you can choose what kind of type should it be, and we'll just create a option here. So we create 2 options saying yes and no, and we will by default activate it. So it's activated on all opening hours, meaning any opening hour we create, it will ask for these information, and then we'll give it a badge here so it's quick to see in the system. So now we created this. Let's go back into the opening hour to see how it looks now that we created something. You can see that it added this one here, just to show you in the overview that there's already a custom field added. So if we just go back here, you can actually see now that this setting over to the right here in the right sidebar, it wasn't there before. And this is because now we added or we activated an app. So now we show more settings that are useful for you. Again, as I talked about before, it's possible to see set custom durations. For example, here you will be able to activate seatings and then set a default opening hour instead of 2 hours in total. We can set it to 2:30, and this will only count for my Mondays. And then I can update this opening hour now. So you can see here it actually says, oh, we actually have some special settings on this day. Another thing we could do is we want to create a special opening hours for, let's say, tomorrow, and we will have open from 10 to 10. And we'll just click here and say save. So now we have a special opening hour only working tomorrow. Let's just try to see how this works from the customer's view now. So if we go back here, we can just restart the flow, basically go here. And we can say have 2 people, and now we can select actually already tomorrow. We'll see the times we talked about, 10 to 8. And we can try to go back here again and say, let's say first Monday the 1st, 12:30. And now you can see we have the custom field that is a part of the booking flow now. So let's just try to make a new one again. And let's see, we submit the booking because I just want to show you how these custom fields shows. Then I go back up here, I click on bookings, and now you can see that we have a booking on the 1st of April. And you can see here now we have created the custom field, and it actually shows already out here. We don't have to click into the booking to actually see the custom field that we added. So it's an easy way to quickly see what are the new settings, or not the settings, but what are the information on the booking. So let's see, what is the time now? It's yes. Okay, great. Let's just go down here to the apps, because what I wanted to do now is we have all these settings, and I just quickly want to give you the overview again. You can add or activate SMS notifications, reminders, the floor plan. So basically what you saw was actually the free views. We actually have a 4th, which is a floor plan where you can create your own tables and put them on the screen, and then you can play around with having your own floor plan. We have a feedback function that sends out feedback or asking for feedback after a booking has been held. We have a wait list, so you can set it up so people can sign up for a wait list if it's fully booked for a day. Design, again, the custom or the booking flow I just showed you, you can customize that. You can create design, colors, font, so it matches your own website. For example, if you want to integrate the booking flow, we have a widget, so you can take a small snippet of code and then put it into your own website with the right colors and font and so on. We have online payment, so it's possible on bookings to take prepayment or reserve an amount on a no-show. So if they don't show up, you can actually secure a no-show fee. We have the custom field I showed you. You have possible to flag guests. So for some reason there's a no-show, you can flag it. So next time they try to make a reservation, they will be flagged in the system, showing you that this guest is actually has been a no-show before. It will still allow them to book, but just making let you know about there has been a no-show beforehand, so you can take care of it how you want. And we talked about quickly about the integration, so you can sign up with Reserve with Google, so customers can book directly through Google's platform. Analytics and Pixel, so you can get more information on how the customers go through the booking flow and so on. MailChimp, if you want to gather customer information, then it will ask for the approve that you allow them or you add them to your mail list and in doing the booking flow, and then you'll be able to send out newsletters and so on through MailChimp. Zapier is an integration that can integrate with over 5,000 systems. So yeah, and the API. You can try to take a look at our documentation, but I won't dive too much into that right now. Okay, so I'll just go back here because I'm talking, I'm running out of time for this, so I'll just go back here to, first of all, I want to show you some other quick things, some tips about the system. So some of you might not know works, but we actually have this search inside of the system. So many of you who worked on a computer before know when you go into a website or in a document and you search for something, you can say Command F or Control F, I think it is in Windows, and it will open this little search up in the right corner. Here we actually overtook this search, so you'll be able to search in resOS. So you'll be able to search for bookings and customers here quickly and then open them directly from the search. This is the same search that we have up here, but just a shortcut basically. Another thing that we added recently I want to show you is up here in the right corner when you are on the booking views, we have this little 3 dots. And here you can actually add a note for the day. So you can create a note that will be on top of all the booking views. So if you want to create a note that all your employees need to be aware of for that day, it's quite easy to activate or to add it like that. And it will only show for the day. If I go to the next day, it's gone again. Then we have the closed booking for today. So again, instead, I know a lot of you guys are busy, and when there's a lot going on in the restaurant, you don't have time to go into settings, opening hours, create a new opening or create a special opening hour, close for today. So again, with one click, you have closed online bookings for the day. So if you're full and only take walk-ins for the rest of the day, that's an easy way to do it. And you can open it again by clicking it. And the last time here, or the last thing here, is actually the same, just for an interval. So it opens the booking form, and you can then say, oh, from 2 to 3, I want to close it for reservations, and now it closed down that interval. Yeah, I think that's some of the, some quick tips and tricks that we have right now in the system. And then let's try to look at what was in the next on the slides here, which is here is upcoming features. So what are we currently working on right now, or soon start to work on? So I didn't get to show you the floor plan, but you can create one floor plan today, and that's the only thing. What we are doing, or what we're working on right now, is to make it possible to create as many floor plans as you want, and you can add whatever tables or areas to that floor plan. So you could create a floor plan for an inside area, for an outside area. You could even create a floor plan for a special event where maybe you have a complete different floor plan on how it normally would be. And then you will be able to select that floor plan in the booking views when you look at it. Improve payment and booking flow. So today, some of you know, maybe some of you don't, but as a part of if you set up payment, a part of the booking flow would be that we redirect the user to Stripe to take the payment. What we're working on is to integrate it into our booking flow, so the user would never leave the booking flow and therefore would never see the status page before the payment is actually captured. Where today there could be some, or there is some confusion about, is a booking actually accepted or not before the payment actually has been made. So we are fixing that. Then allow customers to change booking details. Allow customers to change booking details. As you saw, it's possible to write comments on the booking. It's possible to cancel a booking, but it's not possible for the guest to change or update their bookings. And what we learned is that can lead to a lot of cancellations from users and then recreating a booking. So what we are doing now is we actually we're gonna allow users to update their bookings if it's of course available the way they want to update it, right? So do they want to change the time, the date, the people? Basically, they will be allowed to go through the booking flow again and then update the current booking. Booking confirmation. So this is something I'm actually quite, I think it's quite cool. So we have the reminders today, but what we still see is even though we send out reminders customers forget about it, or they don't really care about it, or they don't show up, right? And we want to avoid no-shows at all cost, because that's hurting our business. So booking confirmations is basically a feature that you can set up, so it will ask the customer to confirm the booking 1 day before. So basically, or 2 days before, it's up to you. But basically, it asks the user to actually take some kind of action. And if they don't take action, you'll be able to see that on the booking, and therefore you'll be able to maybe doing, you come in early, see, oh, these 3 users haven't actually taken any actions on the bookings, having approved that they will show up or confirm they will show up, and therefore you will be able to maybe call them, say, hey, are you actually coming or not? Or you will be able to actually just replace the bookings with new bookings. So again, we try to combat no shows and to make sure that you guys get as many booking as possible and as easy as possible into the system, right? Okay, great. Let's see what is, great. The last step here is now the Q&A. I saw that there was some things popped up during my my screen, and I can also see my colleague Maya has written me with some of the some questions already. So now it's the time to write your questions in the Q&A section, and I'll go over them here. I can see there's a question here asking to in relation to no-show fees on Google. Yeah, would it be possible to include no-show fee payment integrated to Google, as we are managing and it manually when reservation is done and customers tend to ignore making payment? Yeah. So this is not about no-show fee only. This is what's it called? Payments through Google. Right now we don't support. We found it's possible to do it through Google now, we know. And so it's something later this year we definitely want to look into and to support, so you both can take prepayment or no-show through Google reservations. I wouldn't want, next question here, I wouldn't want the customer to see the appointed table number. Is it possible to disable? Yeah, customers don't see table numbers at all. The only thing they'll be able to see is the duration and the area if you select them, if you allow them to select the areas. Okay, so yeah, they won't never see the table number. Let's see here. Third question, clicking on a notification bell. If you get a new booking request, can you make it so clicking on it sends you to the schedule view? So I'm not 100% sure here, but how I think it works is the last view that you looked at is what it will send you to. So the system will remind or will remember if you was on the booking view or the schedule view or the floor plan, and whenever you click that, it should go directly there. Okay, so fourth question here, with regards to the waitlist, is there a way to people on list can be automatically added to tables should they come available? No, not right now. Right now, the waitlist is a manual tool that you have to handle manually, but it's definitely something we want to add, and we have on our upcoming, so to say, on our roadmap already. I'm not quite sure when we will make that, but it's something we actually discussed when we developed it. But we for now thought it would be easier and for us and faster for us to make it manually. So that's how it works for now. Possible to have unique booking link for one-time events? No, not possible right now to create unique links. But this is something that's quite high on our roadmap this year. Creating special events is probably what we're gonna call it. So you'll be able to create an event, and then that will give you a link that only works for that day. So you can send that out to maybe a VIP group or members group, or if you have a barbecue Friday or whatever, you can use that, right? So definitely something that will come to the system this year. I'm pretty sure about the unique link special events. Then let's see here from my side. Yeah, no, I'm really glad to read that you like our support. Our support is very important, and we try to do our best. So I'm really glad that you like it. and they take good care of you. We try to do our best. Okay, number 6 question here. Feedback on resOS and Google reviews posting integration. Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I would really love to do this, and we actually had a meeting 2 weeks ago about this feature, because I would love if we could post reviews automatically on Google, but for security reasons, it's not possible for us to post on behalf of the customers, if that makes sense. So what we're gonna do, we are changing how the feedback works. So basically, we want to push them the feedback when we send out the feedback emails or SMS. We want to push the customers to your review page on Google directly, instead of into ours, or into Yelp or TripAdvisor. So basically, you will be able to set up where do you want customers to be pushed towards, so you can get the reviews on that platform you want, instead of inside the system. Of course, it's still possible also to choose to get them inside the system, but we want to make the flexibility so you can choose. I would love if we could post them directly, but Google won't allow us. Yeah. In terms of pricing, do you charge any amount according to the number of booking? I mean, per head, for example, if people book over your website, do you charge for that? No, we do not charge for bookings or head count or anything like that. You can see on our website we have a pricing system that works doing on total amount of bookings for the last 30 days, and we have like 3 different tiers. There's a basic plan that runs up to 350 bookings, I think it is, per month, and then we have a plus plan that runs from 350 to I can't remember if it's 500 or 700, but we don't charge for the amount of people that are on bookings, only for that total bookings in a month. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you have 200 or 300 bookings, it's the same monthly price. Just to clarify, it's nothing regarding, per booking or per head. 8, how to customize the recurring clients, that the recurring client do not get constantly the request for review. Yeah, this is actually a very good question, and I don't really have any a good answer to it right now, because that's actually how it works. But definitely something that we should look into. I think that's a good point. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, we don't have a solution for that at the moment, but I'll definitely note this down and talk with the team about it. Yeah, so if someone's card is declined after no show, is there a way to try to retake the payment? Yeah, so this is one of these cases where it's really hard, right? Because there could be many reasons why, whenever we try to charge the no-show fee, that we cannot get the amount. It could be the card ran out, it could be there's not enough money on the card, and etc. And since it's really not us that's handling it, it's through Stripe. So my advice would be to try to log into Stripe if you didn't already, and look at the the payments in there, and try to see if you can find it. And then I know Stripe has some retries and different methods to try to recapture payments. But I don't have a good way with there's nothing we can do because we're not handling it in our system. I'm sorry. Any example of how resOS has been integrated with POS systems like online POS or scheduling apps? No, we don't have any. We don't have any integrations with point of sale systems at the moment. We looked into it at some point, but we haven't done it yet because we haven't had that much feedback on it, to be honest. We looked into some of the big ones, Lightspeed and so on at some point, but it's not something we spent that much time into yet. It could make sense at some point, but right now we don't have any integrations. Again, we are quite an open system. So if there's anything, you can always reach out both to me directly if you have any suggestions, or to our support, and we'll of course see if it's something that makes sense. Let's see here. Is it possible to see the list of all future bookings? Yeah, so if you want on a list, I think the easiest way would be to actually export the bookings. So let me just, I actually closed it here, did I? Let me just go click here and go back to the system. So down here in the settings, you'll be able to go down, and we have an export data. And in here, you'll be able to actually say, I want bookings, and then you can export a list from the date to the date. I think that's right now the best way of doing it. Besides that, you will be able to, in the bookings overview here, go to the calendar. But again, it's not a list. It's just an overview where you'll see how many bookings are there for each day, right? Yeah. Okay, so let me just quickly see here. Is there any more questions or anything? Anyone has any questions regarding any of the apps that we haven't talked about? Then now is a good time to ask them. If there's anything you want me to show you, we have some time, so please let me know in the Q&A what you want to look at. Let me just quickly see. Oh, yeah. One thing I also want to mention is we have this, which is quite new, the What's New setup here, which is maybe where some of you found out about the webinar. But here we are trying to be more active and post about new features in the system and new updates and so on. So yeah, please keep an eye on this for new updates. Yeah, so is it possible to know past reservations of a returning customer? Yes. So if you go into customers here, you will actually see now we have a booking with my information, right? You can click on the customer, and you can actually see, oh, this customer has actually made 2 bookings in the past, or now it's in the future, right? Because I made them in the future. But you'll be able to find them in the customer or in the customer database. Another way to do this is also to, on the booking, when you have it for that day, which is probably a more use case, is you have the booking here, and you can click here on View Customer Profile. You can open it, and you can see again here the same overview that we have 2 bookings for this customer already. And let me just try to go here to the 8, the same. Yeah. And here you can also see, it says 1 booking earlier, and the latest one was on the 8th of April, right? So this is also a way to see when was the last time they actually made a booking. Yes, so we have 5 minutes left. Let me know if there is more questions. I'll just quickly look here if anyone asked anything I didn't see. Lorenzo, thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, and thank you for the support. I'm glad you like it, and the same with Ashanu. Thank you a lot for the feedback and the nice words. Yeah, and then unless there comes any more questions, I just want to say thank you a lot for participating. This is the first time we are trying to do this. I hope it was useful for you. We want to probably going to start do this more, and maybe even dive into smaller things, such as some of the features, dive into them. And what I have heard and what I talked about with other restaurants is actually to try to get another restaurants to come on and show how they use the system, so we actually can share the knowledge in the system. I think that could be quite cool. If somebody would love to do that, they can also reach out to me on my email, which is efk@resOS.com. That could be quite cool. Okay, so let me just quickly check here if we have more questions coming up. Thank you, Camilla. Thank you for anticipating. Yeah, so thank you, guys. I think we'll just close it down unless there comes something up now. We will send out an email to you later with some feedback. So I would love if you would spend 2 minutes to just fill it out to let us know what you thought. If there's anything we can improve on in the future, please let us know. Have a nice day, and again, thank you for your support. Bye.